Good morning, gang. Happy Sunday morning. Sorry if you can hear the dryer in the background. I've got laundry going this morning, so it's one of those weekend chores. You know how it is. So I wanted to talk about security and a little interesting thing that happened this week. Y'all know I have harped over and over and over again on setting up wherever you are security. I mean, I've showed you different things, how to make alarms. I mean, little homemade tripwire alarms. Don't do this in real life, okay? Or real life in a non-SHTF situation. There was a story a week or so ago about somebody who got sued for having a tripwire alarm and the postman or something tripped over it. Set it off. But security for many reasons, right? Y'all know I've got motion detection lights all over my property. Just put 2 more in to alert me and make it easier for me to see an intruder, be it 2-legged or 4-legged, okay? Just so I know what's going on. I've talked many times about security cameras, and that's kind of where I'm going to go into this. But what I what I want you to take a look at is who else has access to your security besides you, okay? We all remember the stories of Huawei a couple of years ago, Chinese company that wanted to basically do all the 5G in the country, and basically it was to turn the entire mobile phone network, if you will, everything, to anything that runs on cell phone data or internet or whatever it would be, give it control over to the Chinese. Somebody finally had the bright notion that maybe this isn't a good idea. Okay. Maybe you know, maybe you don't know, a couple of years ago where the Chinese were setting up cell phone networks in the Caribbean so they could spy on Americans using their cell phones in Southeast Florida. Okay. Quite interesting, how they can use technology to find out what's going on with you. So I had an interesting scenario this week, and you can imagine, I've told you guys many before, you guys know, okay? Just like a lot of other channels, companies come to us, the creators, and ask us to review their products or sponsor their products. And I'm not going to do sponsorship, and I tell them all, I said, here are my conditions for reviewing your product. 1, you send me a unit that I can give away, and 2, I do an honest review and you have no rights to censor it whatsoever. I'm going to say what I say whether you like it or not. Now, at least for most of them, when I review it and it turns out it's a piece of junk, I send it back to them and tell them, you know what, I don't think you even want me reviewing this. Okay. So I had an interesting one this week. A company got a hold of me and wanted me to review their security camera system. Now, I've already got a security camera system, so that wasn't going to be very helpful in the first place. It was a wired system, which personally, a wired system will work fine if you're just trying to check out your house, okay? But considering I'm trying to put security cameras, or I have put security cameras around my property, I'm not going to run 200, 300 feet of wire from one corner of my property, say by the pond, back to the house. So I need a wireless system. So I got back with them and I explained to them politely. I said, I'm probably not going to be the best person for this because A, I already have a system, so I'm not going to install yours. And B, I said, a wired system doesn't work for me. They got a little belligerent about it. Well, you really should look at this and everything. We're the #1 company and everything like this, and blah, blah, blah. All the typical sales pitch bullshit, right? And my response to them at the end was very simple. I said, let me give you one other reason I don't want to review your product. Why in the freaking world would I buy a security system from a Chinese company? I said, just like everything else, what do you want to do? Spy on my property? Probably. Okay. You think about it, and we all talk about going gray man and doing whatever. Okay. Not letting anybody know about our preps. I understand, and I think most other prepper channels understand the risk we take. We're kind of putting ourselves out there. I mean, you guys, and this has happened to me many times. I'll be at Rural King or Walmart or the grocery store, the tomato festival, wherever it would be, and somebody will come up to me and go, hey, Pinball, y'all recognize me. Okay. I obviously don't know what you guys look like. Most of you, I've met a bunch of you, but, I couldn't pick you out of a police lineup. But why in the world would somebody who is preparing for the inevitable attempted takeover of the world by China give our security to the Chinese? Right? Obviously, no, I don't want your Chinese junk. Again, the same thing. I put all the effort in installing the damn thing, and 91 days later, it won't work. Okay, it's like everything else made in China. And if it does work, guaranteed there's somebody sitting over there going, well, and this is what Pinball was doing today, and yada yada. We watched him bring in his groceries, and boy, he had a lot of green beans. We saw him picking tomatoes today, and it looked like he had about this amount. That's exactly, they'd be establishing a file on all of us. So what I'm trying to say here is be very careful about who, how you work with. Y'all know the reason I started this channel, okay, is that there were so many channels out there either preaching gloom and doom all day long. The world's going to end tomorrow every day, okay? A broken clock is right 2 times a day. Eventually, they will be right. It's the other 8 years or whatever that they have their channel of saying that every day that they're wrong. Chicken Little syndrome, okay? Or, here's my links. Go to my shop. Buy my stuff. Yada, yada, yada. You ever show me using your stuff? Or you ever show me you using your stuff? No. Okay. There's a whole lot of stuff out in the prepperverse, if you will, that is total junk, okay, totally worthless to have. My opinion, okay, for somebody may say, those 5-gallon buckets worth of food are great. Okay. You know what? For the amount of money I spent on them, I could probably do it I could have 10 times as much food, storing food, than buying somebody's plastic bucket full of food with portion sizes that are that big, But it's got 7,200 meals in it. Yeah, if each bite is considered a meal. and a bunch of other things, okay? But what I'm saying, guys, is when you're looking for preps, whatever it would be, take a step forward and think about it. Who else, how could this actually be a negative for me? A security system made in China? Yeah. Not exactly the most brilliant move, I'd say. Okay. Yeah, the one I have is old. Still works. Made in Japan. Japan, not worried about taking over from us. Okay. But it works, is what it is. So, yeah, just an interesting one today. Just pay attention to where, think about when you're buying something. It's like, okay, who else could possibly have the capabilities of this? You know why I absolutely refuse to own any Apple products, okay? Same reason, made in China. I'll stick to my Galaxy products, made in Korea, okay? made by an ally, not by an enemy. The only one who's allied with China in this country is Washington, okay? And personally, I ain't exactly allied with Washington at this point. So whatever they're doing, I'm doing the opposite. Why? Because in my opinion, that's the most prudent thing to do. Have a good one. Pinball out.